Hello, welcome to Soulful Equine. I'm Stephanie, and today's topic is on fly control using non-chemical approaches. Well, that topic in itself baffles a lot of people's minds because they think, how can we eliminate flies or at least significantly decrease the population without using chemicals? Well, there's multiple ways to do it, and it's been being done. It's been done for many, many years, especially by the people who really do care about um, using non-chemical approaches. I'm one of those people. Some of the things I'm going to introduce to you today, I'm sure you've heard about, and maybe you've thought about doing it or you're using it currently. It doesn't matter. The main thing is that you have some kind of program in place, but without using chemicals. What I have found is that you need to have a combination of things in place as far as for controlling flies, because flies go into their the different stages as far as before they hatch. Um, One thing that we can do is help to eliminate them before they even hatch. However, the ones that have hatched out, you're not going to completely eliminate flies not hatching out, but you can significantly decrease it. So what you'll have to do is control the adult flies as well. And how do we do that? I'm just going to tell you the program I have in place. And like I said, many people are using this same type of program or a combination of different things in their program. I started back in about 2001, before this really became all that popular, and it was the usage of fly predators, or fly parasites, what they're called. These little bitty bugs, they're kind of like gnats, very beneficial insects. What they do, they don't bother you, they don't bother your horse, they don't bother anybody else. All they care about is eating fly larvae. So what they will do is they'll help break your fly cycle. When I first started using these and I started talking about using fly predators, at the time I was keeping two of my horses out at on our family farm for a little while. And we have 500 acres. My dad he raised beef cattle. And there was, we had a lot of cattle around, my horses. It was always real frustrating because cattle tend to create much more of a fly population than horses do, or that's what has been my experience. And usually the farmers don't control their fly population. They just, resort to chemicals, okay? And so basically I told my dad about this. I love to teach through stories or talk with people. I think it kind of helps to really hit home when you kind of tell a story about things. But this was, like I said, it was back in maybe about 2001. I had approached my father and I said, hey, I'm going to start using these beneficial insects to help control the fly population. And he looked at me like I was crazy. He says, okay, whatever you want to do, if that's how you want to spend your money. Well, of course, I was really helping him control his fly population as well, not just for my two horses, but I really got tired of all the flies around the barn and that kind of thing. So I'd started on this journey, and yes, it was very difficult simply because there were so many cattle. However, what was real interesting is I started to use a combination of things. Of course, it depends on how many fly predators you put out because you can control it. And I was able to control it and significantly decrease the fly population around my barn. And so I used a combination of the fly predators as well as fly traps. And I experimented with a lot of different types of fly traps as well, and found out which ones I thought worked the best as far as attracting flies. And of course you want to attract them away from your barn, not to your barn, and that's one of the big mistakes a lot of people make as well. They'll go and hang a fly trap up right inside their barn, and actually that attractant is causing more flies to come to your barn versus away from your barn. Okay. But anyways, little tip there. Many people probably already know that. However, if you don't, I hope that helps. But what I'm getting at is people in the beginning, I know they made fun of me when I was using fly predators. And then whenever I actually moved out to my big farm, or my, little farm, actually it's a little farm compared to 500 acres, I have some neighbors around me who have cattle. They don't have a lot of cattle, but at least it's kind of spread out. I had tried to get my neighbor involved in using fly predators, and he kind of laughed at me too. So what it boiled down to is I had to buy extra fly predators and bump it up in the beginning of the spring, and it really did pretty much significantly decrease the fly population. You're not going to always get rid of all of them if you can't get your neighbors to actually get on board with it. However, you can get control of it, and without using chemicals. Now, you will have to use some kind of sprays occasionally. I've actually gotten to the point where, like one summer, my neighbor actually got rid of all his cows, and I was still using the fly predators, and I probably hardly saw any flies. That was the one summer I saved completely on all my natural fly sprays that I was using. I rarely ever used any fly sprays. So that just tells you how effective it was working for me without the cattle around. Now when the cattle came in, yeah, I had to use more, I had to buy more fly traps, and I had to actually bump up how many fly predators I used. So it cost me more to actually help control the fly population. So if you can get your neighbors on board and really kind of help, fly predators are starting to become a little bit more well known now. I'm starting to see it more on, some of the horse channels, and people are trying to push it. So it really does work if you use it correctly. And I'm going to point you to some resources to give you more information on releasing, what times to release, how often to release, more about the fly, the cycle of flies and that kind of thing. Okay. One other thing, I want to introduce you to two fly traps that I use personally. One is called Monster Fly Trap, and this is a pretty nice fly trap. It's really big, and it does attract a lot of the, it's a really great attractant. Supposedly, it has a little bit of background, but the one thing that it does, and like most fly traps, is that it does have a period of time where it has a period of time where it has to be activated, so maybe from the heat or whatever. So here in Texas, we get some of these up and down, cold and hot, but then once it kind of starts to get a little more consistent and warmer, the fly traps start to really activate. So now what happens if, you got flies, but maybe your fly trap isn't quite activating yet? Well, another thing I found was a really great product from Arbico Organics. I love that website. They've got all kinds of really wonderful things, and I'm going to send you to them. Another thing, they actually have a special up until April 30th of this month, which is this month, end of this month, to where they will send you your first shipment of fly predators or fly parasites. They will send that to you for free if you are a new customer. So I will point you to all of that as well. But they've got something called it's a fly trap that rolls up, and actually the roll itself lasted me I just got through using it this spring. I'm actually throwing it out. I've had it for like a year and a half, where that roll lasted me that long as far as the types of the flies and stuff it was killing, and we had quite a few cattle around us, and boy, that thing works great. Like I said, I can't remember the exact name of it, but I will post it down here at the bottom of this video. And I will point you guys to all the Arbico Organics products, as well as the Monster Fly Trap, that kind of thing. So I hope this helps. The main thing is that you have a program in place, because the best way is to first get to the root of the problem, which is the fly larvae, okay? And actually the first root is manure. So if you do good manure management, and then killing the adult flies through fly traps. So a combination of a program is very important. And last but not least, I'm just going to touch on different fly sprays, and I can point you to some of the ones I've used. You just need to find a more natural fly spray that works best for you, and that doesn't have the chemicals in it that wouldn't even be approved for you to be used around your children. There are so many very toxic fly sprays out there on the market today, so please be careful what you use. That's all I have to say for that. I hope it's helped. I hope it's kind of at least helped you, even if you do already have a program in place. Maybe it's given you a few tips. Anyways, let me know if any of this has been beneficial to you, and that's about all I have for today. I hope everybody has a great day, and good luck on your fly control this year.